Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Projects with Chaz. How the freak am I gonna do that? Today we're going to show you how to change lawnmower blades on a riding lawnmower. So I typically run with mulching blades, but these puppies are dull from last year. I've got another standard set that I have on here, and I just started mowing this spring, and it is super dull. It's throwing big blades of grass all over the place. We look like the Beverly Hillbillies. So this is my last set that's sharpened. I'm going to peel off the tape from the place who sharpened them, and I'm going to show you how to install it. And you need to gather a few things to do this safely, and I'll show you what you need here. First you need a towel, something to lay on. You're going to need a jack to jack both sides up. You're going to jack up the front and put some jack stands underneath it, and then you're going to jack up the back, put a couple jack stands under it, and I usually leave the jack in or up. You're going to need a socket with a socket wrench. You're going to need a little wire brush to get the crud off of the nut, and then a chunk of wood, and I'll show you what that's all about a little later. And a light would help so you can see what you're doing. And maybe a pair of gloves so you don't cut your fingers off. And then your nickname will be Nubs. All right, stay tuned. All right, I grab my floor jack. Bring it over here. There's like a little nub here that I can easily jack the front end up on. You want to jack it up high enough to where you can get under the deck. So I have these jacks stands all the way down, so I know that they're not gonna unleash and drop this thing on my head. Now let's jack up the back. Alright, got a little towel on here so I don't have metal on metal, kind of cushions the jack when it's cradling these nuts. Cradle these nuts! Alright, let's get a good spot right in the middle. We're going to put these jack stands under here. You want to hold on to it, make sure it doesn't tip over. And you want to kind of even with the front. Looks pretty even. I don't know if you can see that or not. My good jack stands are up front. These are my cheapo ones. So if it collapses, it's from these. And I'll know where my death came from. But anyway, it's jacked up. I got these jack stands on here. So the tips, it's not going anywhere. And I'm going to leave the jack in place. I'm going to remove the handle so I don't trip over and knock all my teeth out when I fall down. And these flowers, the kids like them, so that's why they're on the lawnmower. This thing's 20 years old. I do tune-ups, which is going to be another video. I've changed the serpentine belt. And that's about it. Tune-up, serpentine belt, and swapping out the blades. This thing's lasted 20 years, so boom. So there's a blade on each side of this deck. That's why there's two blades. I got my piece of wood. The piece of wood is to stop the blade from rotating when you undo the nut or the screw. Some gloves, a little wire brush so you can get to the nut because it's going to be full of grass. My light. And let's get under here and I'll show you what that entails. Alright, so I've got a socket and I keep it in my toolbox and it says mower blade because I need to know what socket fits this nut. Now usually it's more corroded than that, so I take a wire brush and I just try to clean it up a bit so I can get a good fit with the socket. So there's a blade here and there's a blade right here. So 2 blades. So I'm going to try to film this while I unscrew it. But this piece of wood, it's lefty-loosey, so I need to keep this blade from spinning. And have your blade hit it. Now I've got something to hold the blade so I can loosen this bolt. Okay, so I took the old blade off, and it doesn't look too bad, but it's nicked up and it's dull. So I'm going to set this one aside. Now here's the sharpened one. It's a little rusty, but it's sharp. Take the old one off, take the new one, make sure the sharpened edge is at the bottom. If it's upside down, it'll look kind of goofy because there's no blade on this side that's going to hit the grass. It's the sharp side, or the side that has been sharpened by your hardware or lawnmower place. The big question is, when you put the blade back on, which way does it go? Because you probably forgot what it looked like when you just dropped it off. So look at the other one. The cutting part is on the bottom. So cutting part toward the bottom. You want that closest to the grass, not this part that sticks up. So just grab your blade. You're going to stick it back on here, and then put your screw back in. So you want to do the opposite. When you tighten it up, you got to put the block of wood somewhere else so you can torque on it. So because I'm going to go righty-tighty, the blade wants to spin this way. So there's a little spot over here. Let's see, right there. You can see that I got it wedged in there. So righty-tighty. Take the block out. Spins, makes a little noise. This thing's old, so it's not going to be perfect. But basically duplicate what you just did on this side on the other side. Take it off the jack stands, start it up, make sure the blades don't fly off and kill anybody, and you're good to go. So let me finish up and I'll show you how that looks. Okay, we're going to take this off the jack stands. So jack it up a little higher than the jack stands. Maybe let them loose. Pull those out. And then slowly drop your tractor. Boom. Alright, let's go repeat the process up front. Look at that. That's classy. This is why you don't drink beer and mow your lawn. You run into things. Alright. Pull these out. Slowly let her down. Okay, moment of truth. I'm going to start this up in the garage, so if the blades do happen to fly off, it'll be in the garage and it'll hit the walls versus being out in the driveway and screwing up a car or flying through the neighbor's picture window and decapitating them. So, here we go. Looks like they stayed on. So next up, mow the lawn. All right, thanks for watching. If this helped you out, please like my page, subscribe, and comment. And like all good projects, I'm going to finish this one by cracking a brouhaha, celebrating that a blade didn't fly off and cut off a limb. See you later.